Hello everyone, welcome to Eclectic Coach, and in this video I'm going to be doing a reading about messages from your spirit guides. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to receive guidance. I'm going to just let that go over there until I start pulling the cards. So group 1, just immediately jumping into it. Authenticity. Let your truth be heard. So what I'm getting from this specific pile who picked piece number 1 is I'm hearing you're a very sensitive person, you're a very nurturing person, and sometimes when we're in environments where we feel like we got to toughen up or we feel like we can't really show that part of ourselves, or we don't feel safe to be I'm just drawn to her earrings here. Like there's something very creative about you, very unique, very crafty, even very homey and mothering and nurturing. And your spirit guides are really just encouraging you to be your true self. And so, like a protective, nurturing energy, you can really set some very clear boundaries, but also express your soft side, express your nurturing ability, your creativity, your empathic nature, your intuitive nature. You don't need to be like everyone else. Just be okay and good with yourself and where you are. And let's see. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, I've got this. And this is about communication and feeling free to communicate in your own style and actually seeing it as a strength. There's sort of this creative, free, almost romantic quality about you, a nurturing quality, creative. And where's the other deck? Here we go. We're going to go with this one. I don't have my normal setup here, so I've got to pull them out of the bags. But I'm getting here. I'm not going to take all these cards. Yeah, look inside yourself for your unique strengths, your unique abilities. And I'm also getting, if you feel like you kind of have this softer, natural nature and you need some protection, you can just look inside yourself for any qualities that you need. And it's about generating that within your nervous system. She's kicking up this whole energy vortex. And you can do that by the thoughts that you think and by talking yourself up and being gentle with yourself and encouraging towards yourself and really owning your authenticity and expressing yourself in this genuine way. You naturally stir up the energy that you need and that you ultimately want. Okay, what else? I got self-reliance. So look inside yourself and self-reliance. So yeah, if you're feeling kind of sensitive around your natural nature, and sometimes that can make us feel very exposed in a way, or sensitive or vulnerable in some sort of way, remember you can stir up your own protection, your own energy. You can tap into other forms of information, other attributes within yourself. But yeah, you can really only rely on yourself when you are being yourself. Because sometimes when we deny some of the softer parts of ourselves and we lose touch with our soft strength, it becomes harder to make decisions that are in our best interest, to look inside of ourselves for the answers that we seek and listen to our own inner wisdom and then we can't access our self-reliance. So really honoring your sensitivity, expressing your sensitivity, going within for any answers that you need. Your spirit guides want you to listen to the Holy Spirit, listen to yourself, listen to, and by that I mean your higher self, because we're all one. And I'm just drawn to this illumination around her head. You will be illuminated with whatever ideas, information, tips, tools, whatever that you need to move forward successfully. So I'm going to pull one more card here. No, they didn't come out. Yeah, so I'm getting to use visualization to put an aura of protection around yourself, to visualize good things coming to you, to visualize what you want. That's in alignment with this look within yourself idea. So if you feel exposed, or if you feel vulnerable, or if you need to make decisions, going into meditation and using imagery to help you understand either next steps, how to tune into them, to visualize what you want, to source your own power. And by that I mean connect with the collective source, kind of like we're drops in the ocean. So it's not that you're disconnected from the divine, you are a part of it. And you're being encouraged to visualize protection around yourself, visualize what you desire. Know that you can look within yourself and you can rely on yourself and you can be yourself. And by that I mean the highest, happiest, most natural expression of who you are. All right, so that's all I have for you, and I hope that you liked the video. Okay, so for those of you who picked piece number 2, let's see what your spirit guides have to say. Okay. Attraction. So I just heard attraction rather than promotion. Interesting. So that's what I'm getting for that. I'm going to use this one. This deck here. The nails are looking pretty rough. All right. Attraction. I'm hearing sing your own song. I'm also getting something about attracting friendships that are on your frequency. I'm also getting, for some of you, doing something musical in order to make new friends, whether it's dancing, whether it's playing music, whether it's song circles, whether it's, I'm getting attracting the right friends by getting on the right frequency. So this is what your spirit guides want to talk to you about. So if you don't like what you're attracting here, then change your frequency. And you can do that in very, very practical ways, like, they say it's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than it is to think your way into a new way of acting. So changing kind of how you dress, changing where you spend your time, changing how you speak, what you listen to, especially with this music card here. So there's something that they're drawing attention to about being mindful of the friendships that you're attracting. Okay. Now these cards are all out of sorts. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to use this deck right now because it's flipping out on me here. We're going to stick with the fairies. Okay. Okay. So I'm also getting the people that you're spending time with is affecting your financial flow. And I'm also getting and it could be related to the friends, but it's also kind of like a side note. Maybe you want to go do fun things with your friends. You want to go have these experiences, but there's a financial flow concern, and you're being guided to kick up your heels and have a good time and trust. And that's actually going to help your friendships and help your financial flow. And this also kind of ties in to this attraction. The people that you're spending your time around are affecting your financial flow. So make sure you're spending time with people who are on the right frequency. And if you're not, go make some new friends. Look at what you're attracting, the relationship patterns, because it's affecting your financial flow. So I want to just ask one quick question. Lots of rainbows today. Okay. I'm just going to pull it from here because the shuffling. Two of Wands. Okay. So you're being asked to look at your reflection in this card and know that you are being guided. I'm also getting like pets and animals, and nature is your friend. So if you need a clearing, go out, touch grass, talk to Jesus, whatever you believe in. But look at a reflection of yourself, because that's going to tell you what's going on with your friendships and how that's relating to your financial flow. And for some of you, I'm getting that you are concerned that if you go have fun and if you let up and relax, it's going to affect your financial flow. Okay, what else do we need to know about this? Okay. So I'm just getting that there's some fear represented by the big bad wolf here that's just trying to get into your mind, and you really need to get outside and consult your inner guidance, consult nature about your relationships, about what's going on, what you're connected to, and get answers about making new friends. Get answers about what you should do about the people in your life and how that's helping or hindering your financial flow. And not to let this negativity find its way into your mind, into your house. And remember that it's all about adjusting your frequency. That's going to attract different people, friends, colleagues, financial situation. You're being guided to have more fun, to get out in nature, to reset, and to reflect on your own beliefs and your own reflection, because perception is projection. And what your relationships are telling you about what you deserve, what you're capable of what you are attracting and why, and to be mindful of not letting fear, negativity, and doubt get into your house, into your mind. Okay, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, spirit guides of the highest light and love, what do you want to tell group number 3 right now? Interesting. Okay, we're just going to keep going. I don't take the ones off the floor. All right. And I don't do reversals. Okay. So for some of you, there's been a sort of ending, a transition, and they want to let you know that you're not alone, and you will find light, illumination, and inspiration through any sort of darkness. and any sort of thoughts that you've got going on. And you're being guided to look at this from a higher perspective and to understand that death and transformation, as I'm getting from this butterfly and the skulls, is a natural part. And this could be a metaphorical death of a job, a relationship, a person, or whatever resonates with you. But I'm getting that you are being illuminated and you're not doing this alone. And this is going to give you wisdom that's going to allow you to light other people's torches. So, yeah, you're being guided through this transitional phase by an illuminated perspective. Okay, keep going with this stick. Okay. Oh. Yeah, this setup, the table is so much smaller. Okay. Right, one more time. One more time. All kinds of problems here. All kinds of problems. Okay, we're not even going to use this deck right now. It's giving me all kinds of issues. So we're going to go with a clearer one. Okay. I don't want to bump the camera off. Flippers only. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, I got these same two cards in the last pile, so if you feel called to, go to the other one. But financial flow and kick up your heels, except this time is if you're going through a financial, like some sort of transition in your life, some sort of major change, something, your path is being guided and illuminated. The Six of Swords traditionally means like going to a new place, a better place. And in this situation, there's going to be more financial flow. But I'm also... Okay, so this will only resonate with some of you. If some of you have lost somebody recently, they have been guided home. And although this says financial flow, this reminds me of a lot of the near-death experience videos that I've listened to. Whoever has transitioned into non-physical is very happy and is doing very well, and they're more joyful than ever, and they've gone up into the light with all these other beautiful souls, and they're having a great time. So that will only resonate with some of you. But for others of you, know that this transition, although it can be scary when things are kind of dead and you're in this in-between space, your path will be illuminated, you will be guided, it will lead to more financial flow, and you will have a reason to celebrate and have fun and be really, really happy. Okay. Flippers only. Yep. Okay. So for some of you, you are breaking free from something. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry. I've shuffled this deck. But I got the look inside yourself. So what I'm getting is there's a transition, you're being guided through it, more financial abundance is flowing to you. You're going to have so many reasons to celebrate. You're going to feel like you're breaking free, and as if though you have gone through a portal because you have crafted your web, your net, you've made all these connections, taken all these little actions, and you've generated this sort of energy, and you've spun this web, this sort of portal. I think of it more like a portal than just a web. But I'm getting something like with the internet or nodes of connection, effort that you've put in, try to communicate, try to connect. You're breaking free out of this transition situation, being led through it, more money's coming in, you're feeling happier, You feel like you've broken free, and now you're moving through this sort of portal. I'm being guided to read this one in an intuitive, visual way. Okay. What are we doing on time here? Okay, so I heard pull one more. Okay. Yeah, and... okay. So trust your intuition. So if there's the ending of an old phase, you're being guided through it, more money's coming in, you're having more fun, you feel like you're breaking free, going to another place. You have been listening to your intuition. And if you haven't been, make sure you tune in, because that's what's going to help guide you through this entire process. And a romantic partner is somehow relevant to this. So for some of you, you may have had a romantic partner transition to the other side. If this is not your story, I'm not saying that this will be, but I'm simply saying if this has happened, they're doing really well on the other side. They're very happy and they feel like they've broken free. And if you feel like you're receiving intuitive messages from them, yes, this is accurate and your spirit guides want to let you know that. If not, this transitionary period that you're being led through that's leading into more financial abundance and fun and play and feels like you've broken free to another sort of dimension is happening because you are being guided to listen to your intuition, and it could also lead to a romantic partner. And I'm also hearing, if you're not interested in a romantic partner, more romance within your current relationship because there's more finance, more fun. You feel like you've broken free and into another state. You're able to hear your intuition and make your relationship more romantic, or you're calling one in. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hi there. So those of you who picked group 4, Spirit of the highest light and love, what guidance do you have for those people? Okay, so you're being guided towards clean energy food and cooperation instead of competition. Okay, so for one thing, if you are eating healthy, you don't need to check in on anybody else's progress in terms of how they're eating and what they're doing. But I'm also getting sort of like how our friends and our relationships kind of produce this energy that we end up consuming. So be aware of who you're spending your time with, and that it's emitting a positive energy. Also, what you're eating is affecting your mood and is affecting your relationships. I'm getting something about like, if you eat things that don't make you feel very good, it can kind of make you a little feisty. So I don't know if that's like too much caffeine. Listen, I'm not here to judge you about any kind of caffeine or eating bad or any of those things. Like, this is just what your spirit guides want to tell you. There's something about how the food that you're consuming, that not just food, but also whatever you're feeding yourself with, that can be social media, that can be what you're watching on TV, movies, any kind of media, can sometimes lead to irritation, frustration. It can lead to a comparison game. So if you're comparing like your photo reel to other people because you're consuming too much social media, that's something to be aware of. Also, if you are not eating very healthy and you're not feeling very good about your body, and that leads you to be competitive with others, you're being guided to clean up your diet and just eat better so that you know that you're taking really good care of yourself and practicing really good self-love. And there's no need to compare your appearance, your body, your lifestyle, because sometimes we can get really moralizing about our food and think, oh, I eat this and I can't believe you eat that. Like, don't do any of that. You're just being guided away from that sort of behavior. Take whatever resonates, leave whatever doesn't. Because I'm finding different messages for different people. So if you've been in sort of this energy of a comparison diet, maybe taking some walks out in nature in solitude can help you kind of clear your mind of any of that stuff. Also, I'm getting something about walking around at night. Okay. Now, I'm going to use... I'm reluctant to use this deck right this second. Okay. Bear with me. Oh, nope. Get those later. Alright. So, we got Judgment. The Fool also reminds me of kind of walking around at night. Should I take this card? Yes. Okay. So, and these can be somewhat related, but also on a separate note. So, any sort of judgment around comparing yourself to other people, don't do any of that. Have balance in your diet, in your consumption versus giving. And I'm really getting to go be outside. Now, there's something about this. So a coyote energy, and the Fool is obviously about taking an adventure and trusting one's intuition and instinct. But I'm just drawn to this image here because the coyote is a trickster energy. They're not bad, but they're not all perfectly innocent either. In Native American folklore, they had some negative connotations. I think that they're amazing animals that need to have respect for the role that they play in the ecosystem. But I'm getting that there's sort of like a mixed bag of energy, just reading this intuitively here, of like trickster energy, surprising energy, and the light and the dark, if you can kind of see on this card. And recognizing that there's a duality, but it needs to be kept in a sort of balance. You might be feeling somehow blocked around abundance, blocked around ability to implement certain changes. Like the flow has kind of frozen. And maybe there's just been this feeling of needing to kind of clean up what you're consuming, food and otherwise, to remove this feeling, going outside in some solitude, recognizing that everything's kind of a mixed bag in life. So if you have been in this competitive instead of cooperative energy, just bring it into balance. Don't judge yourself too harshly. Life is about light and dark, shadows and light. So there's a duality there. And being at peace with the duality, the trickster energy that shakes us up and shows us things. And you're also being guided to use your intuition, use all the elements that you have, and unthaw this sort of frozen energy. There's something about these two cards and a sort of blocked flow of abundance, like a sort of grasping energy, a grasping when you compete. And then for some of you, you're doing way too much of something because you're trying to keep up. And you need to go out in solitude and reflect on what's important and come to some very important decisions about how to bring your life into balance and to listen to your intuitive, instinctive nature. And this is going to help you unblock this Five of Pentacles if you've been feeling exposed and trying to get to things, employing this Magus energy, this magician energy. Your path will be illuminated. There's something that I find really interesting about the imagery of these cards. If you're feeling blocked right now or just kind of frustrated or stagnated, if you look here, there's the sun and it's behind the moon. And there's her head and her mind, and behind it is the moon that's shining. It's like either the sun or the moon. And then you've got the same kind of image here. So what I'm getting to tell you is if it feels dark and sort of frustrating, and like you're never going to get ahead, or you're just not measuring up, or you're disappointed in yourself because of some dietary, or there's some dietary thing going on that's kind of fueling these feelings, the sun is still shining, even if it's being covered by something. And your path will be illuminated. So if it looks really dark, know that this is going to pass. And this energy is going to thaw. And you are the magician. You are the thinker of your thoughts. You are the person who can change up your diet, can change up how you are perceiving things and the relationship situations that it's creating. And that's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed the reading. Thanks.